béo nữa.
The smoker's disease. The trip you take up the stairs, it's getting harder to make. By the time you get to the top, you're wheezing, coughing, struggling to breathe. Pair this with being tired all the time and frequent respiratory infections. You may think to yourself, it's just you getting older. You shrug it off and you go about your day. But what if I told you, according to the American Lung Association website, these are all the symptoms of the third deadliest disease in the United States. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder. No cure, a high mortality rate, and you don't even see it coming. The symptoms are often overlooked for something insignificant, resulting in terminal illness. COPD is commonly known as a smoker's disease, so much so that the New England Journal of Medicine defines this as a persistent airflow limitation of smokers. Recent research uncovered states that may not be the case at all. Some claim that the primary target of this silent disease is smokers. It has been recently discovered other factors could include heavily populated areas, air pollution, and occupational hazards. It can present in one or several forms of respiratory illnesses, being misdiagnosed as other diseases. Although incurable and deadly, if caught in early stages, it can be managed through medications. Becoming knowledgeable about COPD is the best recourse against the disease. It's a combination of one or more chronic respiratory diseases in the lungs that restrict airflow, making it harder to breathe. It's mostly a combination of chronic bronchitis and emphysema. The smoke-free website promoted by the Department of Health in England states that these diseases combined make it nearly impossible to breathe by narrowing the airways and destroying lung tissue. Because smoking causes damage to the lungs, it is said to be the leading cause of COPD, suggested by the Medline Plus website. Smoking is known to cause extensive damage to the body, ranging from a variety of lung cancers, respiratory issues, and reproductive illnesses. According to the smoke-free website, it accounts for 83% of deaths associated with COPD. Smoking has always been the leading cause of COPD. Recent studies, however, are being released suggesting other alternatives. According to the Times of India 2017, an ongoing study being conducted at Crims Hospital in India is releasing new information that suggests that 50% of those living with COPD is actually non-smokers. This new study states that although this new information suggests that there is a new decreased number of smokers suffering from COPD, it also suggests that 50% of those diagnosed with COPD are also women. And a large part of these women are women that cook from wood-burning stoves, inhaling the smoke. This new information brings to light not only the possibility of non-smokers being predisposed to this disease, but other factors as well as equally possible. According to the Physiopedia website, other factors accounting for those who suffer include occupational hazards, air pollution, and air pollution. This new info is being forwarded to the government to update their policies on air pollution. In order to get proper treatment for COPD, it first needs to be diagnosed quickly and correctly. Because symptoms often present or ignored for a smoker's cough, the diagnosis is often missed and ignored completely. Those suffering from COPD experience cough, wheezing, and extreme fatigue. According to the American Lung Association, these symptoms often present several different diseases, making a diagnosis different and confusing. A combination of chronic bronchitis and emphysema is necessary to make the correct diagnosis. Because these diagnoses are similar to one another, it makes it harder to detect. And once the diagnosis is detected, it is important the proper treatment is given. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder is incurable and deadly. It is important to seek treatment in early stages to ensure a prolonged lifespan and improved quality of life. The best tool of diagnosis is a pulmonary function test, which is used to detect the best course of management. The first step in managing COPD is to stop smoking. Smoking acts as a trigger for COPD symptoms. Other treatments include medication that helps manage symptoms, surgery, and oxygen therapy. It is important that once the symptoms arrive to seek a doctor. The only treatment available are those that can improve the quality of life, not cure it. As new research is uncovered, we are closer to finding out more info that will make it easier to catch and possibly find a cure. The earlier the diagnosis, the best quality of life and longer lifespan the patient will have. Although anyone can be affected by COPD, smokers and those inhale smoke are the primary cause of concern. The life expectancy of my mother was 7 years. She was diagnosed with COPD and lived for 9. We don't know how long she had it before she was diagnosed. Towards the end, she was on full oxygen and couldn't walk the 10 feet to the bathroom without feeling winded. Seeing a doctor as soon as symptoms present is ideal to ensure a higher and longer quality of life. Doing so can extend it up to 15 years. Thank you.
Heather Edward. Kristen Downer.